Hello interwebs, how are you doing? I am doing well. I think my hair is so big it might be out of frame today. My hair is huge. It's just in a messy bun with like a Dutch braid in the front because I'm lazy. Like I always am like, oh, I should probably like wash my hair and stuff and and then I'm like, oh, but then I have to dry my hair and style my hair and deal with frizzy hair for a day and a half because that's how my hair is. So instead of washing it like a hygienic human being, I decided that instead I would just pile it on top of my head. You can see my side cut is like, we got it all smushed down right now, but it's actually like getting really long. And you know, it's funny because like it's getting long and I'm like considering cutting it. I don't know what I want to do. It's just hair. It'll always grow back. I've been taking, did I tell you that? I've been taking these hair, skin, and nail gummy vitamins and I think they're working really good. Oh, I got new jams in the mail today. I know you guys care. These ones are actually little kid jams, but I got them because they were retiring and it was like my last chance to try them and I liked the little dogs on them. So I think I might only be able to use like half the sheet because they're so tiny. And then I got this like plain black, these like gray and white polka dots, and this like really pretty floral. I don't have any jams on right now. I've just been really busy. I know, every time I talk to you guys, like, oh, I've been really busy. I filmed a BarkBox, and I just haven't filmed like the cut-in footage of like Tychus enjoying the things. But that'll be up eventually. And it's crazy. I've had my AC off for 2 seconds, and it's already hot in here. Tychus with the squeaker again. Anybody who's watching Wowhead Weekly this week knows that squeaker toys are like the bane of my existence. The entire episode of Wowhead Weekly, Tychus was like going ham on his squeaker toy, and there was nothing I could do to stop him. He was being a really big jerk. I'm going to kick him out of my office before I film my WoW video. It's super late. I normally film my WoW video at like, I want to say like 2 to 3 p.m. give or take, and it's 9 o'clock at night right now. Like, I had a terrible morning, which nothing happened. Like, there's no reason I should have had a terrible morning, and I don't know if this has ever happened to you before, but I literally woke up. No, please don't start this. That's one of his BarkBox toys. Anyway, so I woke up this morning and I went into the living room, and that's where my dogs sleep like every night, and there were no dogs in the living room. And I had gone to bed super late last night, so I was like concerned. I don't know, I just got scared that I left them outside, which I've never done before, but it was like my first thought. I don't know why. So I walked through the living room into the kitchen, like on my way out the back door, and I see that their collars, like their electric fence, invisible fence collars, are sitting on the table. So I immediately start to like hyperventilate, panic, because in my mind, the only thing that could have happened is that they aren't in the living room because I left them outside overnight, and because I was so tired the night before, I forgot to put their collars on. So I'm like freaking out. So I get to the back door, I open the door, I call them, nobody comes, no dogs in the backyard, and I lose it. I have like a full-fledged panic attack, sobbing, shaking, hyperventilating, not okay at all. So I go inside to call Nick to tell him that I'm like the worst human being on earth. Tychus, my God. To tell him that I'm like the worst human being on, go get it, that's what you wanted. To tell him that I'm like the worst human being on earth and that I've lost our dogs after like leaving them outside all night and I'm so terrible, like freaking out, like sweating. Tychus, come on. Sweating, panicking, just like full-fledged freak out mode. And when I get down the hallway to go in the bedroom to get my phone, both dogs are passed out sleeping in Nick's office. They didn't, like, how did they not, like, normally I get up in the morning and they're like, oh, you're awake, we're so excited about this, but, like, they didn't get up when I got up, they didn't get up when I opened the door, and, like, they could have definitely heard me calling them outside, and they didn't get up then either. So, like, my dogs, like, trolled the crap out of me this morning, so then I'm, like, calming down, right, like, oh my God, I didn't lose the dogs, it's gonna be okay, calm down, you know? And so I go up in my office to like have my cup of morning coffee, and the freaking smoke detector starts going off. Beep, 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 beep. It's sitting on my desk. Look, I'll show you. Here it is. So the smoke detector is going ballistic, and there's no smoke anywhere. So I'm like, oh God, it's a carbon monoxide detector. Like on top of this crazy morning that I've had where nothing happened and I just got really upset. now I'm going to have to evacuate me and 5 cats and 2 dogs because we're going to be poisoned from our air. So, no, that's not what happened. Turns out I left a candle burning in my office overnight, so, like, it got smoky just because, like, it burnt past the wick. Like, there was no fire or anything, and it wasn't even, like, a fire hazard. If it wasn't such a high-quality candle, it would have just gone out like a normal candle, but because it was such a, like, really nice candle, it just kept burning below the wick and was, like, burning the wax and making it smoke. But it's, like, in a glass jar, so it's not like it was dangerous, but... So that's why the smoke detector was going off. So, like, now I have had 2 complete emotional breakdowns before my first cup of coffee. Like, it was not okay. It took me a solid hour to stop, like, shaking. So I had, like, a horrible, unproductive day. Like, I had all these productive things planned, and then, like, nothing got done because I wasn't even functioning like a normal human being this morning. I was too busy, like, trying to stop a, like, prolonged panic attack about, I guess, nothing. So, yeah, that was my morning. And, like, I don't know, I've had all these, like, crazy dreams lately, like, super crazy. So, not last night, but the night before, I had this dream that I was pregnant, which, don't ask me why I would dream that, but I did. I dreamed that I was, like, real pregnant, like, huge pregnant. And, like, all of a sudden, I, like, felt all this pain, and I had this, like, I don't know if you guys have ever gotten, like, a really bad bruise where you can actually see it, like, bleeding under the skin, but that's, like, what was happening, like, on my, like, side and stomach. So I was like, oh my god, I have to go to the hospital. This is not normal or okay. And when I got to the hospital, they were like, I went to, like, urgent care, and they were like, no, this isn't the right place. You need to go to the hospital. So I left urgent care and, like, went to the hospital. I got to the hospital. I'm, like, sitting in the emergency room, and, like, I don't know if you've ever been in the emergency room in America, but my god, you're there for, like, 8 hours. Like, and that's a short trip. But anyways, so I'm, like, in the emergency room, and I'm, like, arguing with them, and I'm like, this is an emergency. Now, mind you, what's super odd about this is that everybody is acting like I'm not hilariously pregnant. Like, in this dream, I was, like, huge pregnant, and then everybody's acting like I'm crazy, like, what are you talking about, you're pregnant, ha ha ha, kind of thing, and, like, acting like I'm kind of, like, lying or delusional or something. And then, like, as the dream goes on and as I'm, like, arguing with different people, my stomach is, like, just shrinking and the bruises are just, like, going away. And so, like, after, like, a significant amount of time arguing with them, and I was just like, well, if you think I'm crazy, why don't you just, like, do some tests and show me that I'm crazy? Like, I can accept that I'm crazy, but can you at least, like, prove it to me instead of just telling me that I'm crazy? Like, give me some hard evidence that I'm crazy. And they're like, okay. And there was, like, this waiting room full of people, and they were, like, being really whispery and judgy. So, like, I went and sat kind of in the hallway where, like, I was just outside of the waiting room, and, like, my back was to all the people, and I was, like, calming down, and, like, I was never, like, hurting anyone or being mean. I was just, like, really, like, loud and, like, upset, but I wasn't, like, out of control. And, like, I sat down and I was, like, quieting down and, like, calming down, and, like, one of the nurses came up behind me, put her hand over my mouth, and, like, stabbed me in the neck with, like, a needle. And I, like, you know, kind of couldn't, like, move my arms or my legs, and I was, like, having trouble, like, talking, and I didn't know what they had, like, sedated me with. Like, I had no idea what was going on. And the whole time I was just, like, thinking to myself, like, you know, I didn't do anything violent. I wasn't, like, flailing. I wasn't breaking things. I wasn't out of control. There was just no reason for this whatsoever. And now I'm, like, embarrassed on top of everything else because we're being treated like I was crazy. And now they're dragging me out because I'm, like, limp from being paralyzed. And when I came to, I was, like, on this bus, which, like, buses are in my dreams all the time. I have no idea why. I was, like, on this bus, and it was driving to what I was telling everybody was my house. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, this is my house. You're going to see how great and awesome it is, and, like, totally my house. But it was, like, a house I shared with people, but, like, it was, like famous type people. Like, we were, like, I don't know, almost like in Korea, how they all live in, like, houses that are owned by the production companies kind of thing. Like, that was, like, kind of the setup that was going on. And I was like, yeah, you're going to see, like, I'm not crazy. Like, I've got this house and this stuff, and, like, we're all taking this bus there, and it's going to be great. And so we get there, and there's, like, murals of me almost, like on the outside windows, like photos, like giant photos, like on the windows. And I was like, see, totally my house. It's so awesome. But then when we like got inside the house, it was very apparent that somebody else was like king of the castle or queen of the castle. You know what I mean? Like, it was almost like I was outdated. Like, oh yeah, you used to be cool, and this used to be all about you, but now it doesn't matter. And I don't even, it was the most bizarre dream I think I've ever had in my entire life. Like, I woke up and was like, what did I eat before bed? Like, what in the world was that dream about? It was a really strange dream. It was a really, really strange dream. And what was, like, really weird about it is how out of character every bit of it was about me. Like, I don't want kids. I've never even taken a pregnancy test. Like, I've never, like, it's not like that. And I don't say in the comments, like, oh, you're probably pregnant. Because if you look up anything about dream meetings, like, pregnancy dreams do not have anything to do with being pregnant. Like, that, I don't know what that was, but it usually means, like, life changes or something. I don't freaking know. I'm not an expert. But, like, so I have no idea what that was about. And then, like, being like so out of control and like crazy, and like everybody was, but it was like it wasn't like I was lying, like it was like everybody was seeing a different version of reality than I was in the dream. It was so weird. And then like being like injected with something to like sedate me when I wasn't even doing anything, and then like waking up on a bus to like, I don't know, some weird, it wasn't even like a house, it was almost like the corporate type building. Like, it was weird. It didn't make any sense at all, and I'm glad it was just a dream and not real life, because it was strange, let me tell you. So that's what I've been dealing with lately. I have like a lot of things I need to get done because my house tour, I'm doing a video. If you guys remember, I did that photo shoot with Redbubble, and Redbubble is like sponsoring a house tour video, which is super cool of them because everybody always wants to see that anyways. But I like need to finish some things in my house before I can do a house tour. So I got to get that done this week. But this is like a crazy week for Nick because he has like a conference thing at work. So he's like getting out of work super, super late. So we're probably going to do everything this weekend because such is our lives. So then I think he has the whole next week off. Or like maybe just like Tuesday through like Monday of the next week. I don't know. It's not a big deal if we work all weekend because he's got a lot of time off coming up, which is really nice. Then I have been, you guys know, I'm like in a guild that I've been in for a really long time. Well, like a year, which I think is a pretty long time. Yeah, it's probably been about a year. Anyways, so been in this guild for about a year, give or take, and love them, love all of them. Me and my guildies get along super good, and I have been healing, and today I finally stepped up and made myself a real healer. I downloaded voodoo raid frames. I got everything all set up so that my like I'm a shaman, so I set it up so that Riptide and Tidal Wave and Earth Shield would all like pop up and have timers. And then I set it up so that if my water shield expires, my like raid frame will change colors so that I notice easily. I set up all of the weak auras for Hellfire Citadel. I set up all of the recommended weak auras for Restoration Shamans. I mean, my whole UI is different. I did things, and I'm quite proud of myself because I have been pretty anti-change for a very long time. So I'm pretty happy that I got all that done. And I got a coloring book. No one cares, but I did. I got a coloring book and I started coloring. Not today, but you know, whatever. I have some stuff I gotta get done though, so I'm gonna go, but I just wanted to check in, have a vlog ski, have a little vlog. If you guys are watching, if you're like also fans of like my gaming channel and like whatever, if you watched Dirtcraft with I Am Cheeb, I know it's gone through like a lot of weird things where I've moved it from channel to channel and like it's all over the place. It is permanently back on TradeChat. It was kind of an experiment with the YouTube algorithm when I moved it to the other channel to see if, it's a long story. It was an experiment with the YouTube algorithm, and I guess they don't understand the algorithm as well as I thought it did, which is why I decided to put it back on my channel because it made no difference. Except that people couldn't find Dirtcraft because it was on a different channel. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I can never find hair ties like when I'm downstairs doing my hair. And like while I'm doing this vlog, I'm looking around my desk. I just dropped a thing. Don't mind that. Look at how many hair ties are on my desk. How obscene is that? That's gonna be every hair tie I own. That's ridiculous. I don't think I had one downstairs other than the ones in my hair. My braid kind of hurts a little, but it looks really awesome, right? Anyways, I'm going to go. I have a video to film, so I'm going to go do that. I hope you're having a wonderful day, though, and I hope that you didn't have obscene dreams like I did, or, you know, a crazy morning where you thought you lost your dogs, or etc. Side note, so you guys know my cat Ninja, the big Maine Coon guy who's like 18 years old? Well, in our old house, when we first got him, he was a stray, and he always wanted to go outside. I mean, we called vets and humane societies. Nobody claimed him, and he was really skinny, and he had like a really like yucky, matted in, like flea collar kind of thing, so I wasn't letting him go back outside. Sorry, dude, not happening. And not to mention that he did get out one time, and he didn't come back for like 6 weeks. I'm not dealing with that either. So, for a long time, for probably like 4 years of having Ninja, no, probably more, yeah, probably like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years of having Ninja, he wasn't allowed outside because he wouldn't come back, and like he was bad. And then when we moved to our last house, we had a fenced-in yard with a really tall privacy fence, and he's like an old dude, so we didn't think he would jump over it, so we would let him hang out in the backyard, which he didn't jump over it. He always stayed in the backyard. But the backyard was really small, and it wasn't like a great yard, and he did like want to come in. You know what I mean? Like he would want to come in. And when we moved here, we got an invisible fence collar for him. And cats are apparently very easy to train on invisible fence. It's not like dogs where you have to go through a 6-week regimen. Cats get zapped one time and they know not to go near the beep. So he's contained on the invisible fence. And he never comes inside now. I mean, he comes to the door and wants food sometimes, or like to refill his water dish and stuff like that. But that cat has zero interest in coming inside. Like, he is an outdoor cat. And, like, lately he hasn't been eating his food. Like, he'll eat, like, 1 out of 3 meals that we provide for him. I think he's, like, eating so much wildlife outdoor stuff. Like, the other day when I went to feed him, he was carrying this big-ass, like, grasshopper or, like, cricket, I don't know, like, huge bug around. Like, just dead, just, like, carrying it around. He had eaten half of it, like, so gross. And then, like, Nick said he saw a frog in our front yard the other day, so I think he might be eating frogs. So I think he's just, like, absolutely chowing down on, like, grass and bugs and frogs, and, like, now he won't eat cat food. It's a real dilemma. The dude's, like, 1,000,000 years old. Like, he can vote and drive. It's ridiculous. Anyways, that was my whole story about my cat. My other cats all stay inside. The only reason we even let Ninja outside is because he has chronic upper respiratory issues, and he does a lot better when he gets fresh air. And plus, he was, like, a stray. He was an outdoor cat when we found him, and he always wanted to go outside. Like, our other cats have always been indoor cats. Like, always. We had 3 of them we've had since they were kittens, so they've never been outside. And then Kieran we got from the Humane Society, but she was, like, born at the shelter, so even though we got her when she was almost a year old, we know she had never been outside, so they don't even have any interest in going outside. But Ninja is out there eating frogs and grasshoppers like a real badass. So I'm gonna go. This was a silly vlog. I'm gonna go. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and I will speak with you soon, and etc. I love you all. You're in my hearts. I'll see you soon. Goodbye. Goodbye.